Welcome to today's maths, everyone. The learning intention says to divide three-digit numbers. Pause here while you get paper, ruler, a pencil. Then neatly write down the date and learning intention and underline it. Well done to everybody who's kept so busy with remote learning at home. You have been doing brilliantly and we're really proud of you. Remember, keep it up. Now use the link above to check out the video on short division. For the number warm-up, you've got your times tables grid. We're all familiar with this empty multiplication table. So again, another pause point. Set the timer before you begin and off you go. Good luck. Now, in the last lesson, you did division sums with two-digit numbers. Think back to what you did and then think about the three most important skills we need to successfully work out answers to division sums. Pause here while you do that. Make a note of those three important skills you come up with. Now look at what you came up with as those three important skills and compare. Number one, times tables facts. We all know how important it is to know our times tables. Number two, do subtraction sums mentally. That means no paper and pencil. It's all worked out in our brain. Number three, to understand multiplication is the inverse of division. If you've got all of those three, fantastic. If not, now you know your next steps. Do you remember the vocabulary from yesterday's division lesson? Look at the labels for these number sentences and for the bus stop method. Let's look at our first sum, 145 divided by 5. So you see I've set it out at the bus stop with 5 on the outside, 145 on the inside. Step 1, I need to find out how many 5s there are in 1. I've got a 0 at the top because we know there are no groups of 5 in 1. Now I need to move the 1 over, so if you look at step 3 on the top, I've moved the 1 over, so we're going to try to find how many 5s there are in 14. Now we know there's two groups of 5 in 14. And I write the 2 above the 4, like you can see in picture 4. So 2 times 5 is 10, and 14 take away 10 leaves me with 4. So that 4 that's left over goes beside the 5, and there you have the number 45. Then I work out how many groups of 5 there are in 45. And we know 9 times 5 is 45, so there's 9 groups of 5 in 45. And yes, the 9 would go directly above the number 5. That's right. Now that you've seen the steps, you try. Pause here while you have a go. Let's look at another example. 362 divided by 2. Step 1 is to see if I've got my bus stop correct. Yes, I've got the divisor on the outside and the dividend on the inside. First step, how many groups of 2 are there in 3? I know there's one group of 2 in 3. 2 times 1 is 2. And so 3 take away 2 leaves me with 1. So with the 1 left over, I don't ignore it. I write it just near to the 6. And now the next step is to work out how many groups of 2 there are in 16. And we know 8 times 2 equals 16. And so you see the 8 right above the 6. 8 times 2 is 16, and there's no leftovers, so there's no numbers inside that inside the box. So the last step is to see how many groups of 2 there are in 2. And we know 2 times 1 is 2. There's one group of 2 in 2. Therefore, 362 divided by 2 equals 181. Pause and look through these steps once more. The next sum is 512 divided by 4 equals 128. And here are the steps to how I got 128. First, I have to find how many 4s there are in 5. We know there's 1 4 in 5. And we have 1 left over. 5 take away 4 equals 1. And we don't ignore the leftover number, so we write it right beside the next number. And then we have 11. Next step is how many groups of 4 are there in 11? So we know there are 2 groups of 4 in 11. 4 times 2 is 8, and 11 take away 8. You are left over with 3. And that 3 that's left over does not get ignored. We write it right beside the next number, which is a 2, and that becomes 32. How many groups of 4 are there in 32? And if we know our 4 times tables, we know this. 8 times 4 is 32. And so the 8 goes right above the 2. Therefore, 512 divided by 4 equals 128. Once again, press pause to look through the steps once more. Now, for the one-star task, we have fact families, multiplication and division fact families. And if you look on the far left, I've done 2 sets of fact families. 7 times 3 equals 21. 3 times 7 equals 21. 21 divided by 7 equals 3. And 21 divided by 3 equals 7. And the next fact family is for the numbers 4, 3, and 12. 4 times 3 equals 12. 3 times 4 equals 12. 12 divided by 3 equals 4. And 12 divided by 4 equals 3. Your first fact family has 3 numbers, 3, 9, and 27. And the next one, 6, 2, and 12. And so forth. Read through the numbers for each fact family. And then you'll need to write 4 number sentences. 2 number sentences for a multiplication number sentence and 2 for a division. And then check carefully through your work. Here are your division sums. Remember to look through the steps and remind yourselves about the important skills. We need to know times tables facts. We also need to be able to do subtraction mentally. And finally, we need to understand multiplication is the inverse of division. And remember to take pictures of your work and send them through email to school. Finally, get ready for the challenge task, year 4. And remember, stay safe until next time.